She took too many sleeping pills.
We were at Fish Lake for a family trip, right?
Yeah. And Grandma we were having a sacrament meeting in the lodge. And so they went down to Grandma's room to get her, and she had taken so many sleeping pills that she was just like she was drunk. But they got on both sides of her and took her in and sat her down with the rest of us, and she sat there kind of wobbly, but she went to church with us.
Drunk.
Yeah.
Okay, Grandma, what's your recollection of the outhouses and the indoor plumbing?
Well, where I was born in Murray, we always had an indoor bathroom. And then we moved out to Union in our beautiful new remodeled home. We had a nice bathroom too. But Father had two privies, or outhouses, whatever you want to call them, for the people that worked out on the farm, and they'd have a place to go. And so we had two of them out there for the help.
And what kind of toilet paper did you use?
Well, they used the Sears Roebuck catalog. But I used to sneak out when I hid a book behind the door in the one, and that's where I read Gulliver's Travels.
In the privy out there?
Nobody bothered me when I went in there to read, and I love to read. But that's when I read that book.
Okay. Now, were you born in the place in Union?
No.
In Murray?
I was born in Murray.
Now, Grandpa's family had lived in the place in Union, right?
Yeah, he was born in there. He was born in that house.
Well, on 72nd Street, or on Union?
South Union Boulevard.
South Union Boulevard, the one...
In Union.
And then he built the house in Murray that you were born in when he was the principal in Arlington?
Yeah. Eldon was 2 years old when they came out there, and he built the house in Murray.
And then...
I was born in the north bedroom, and Reed was born in the living room when he was born. Eldon and Jack were both born in the hospital.
And did you move back out to Union ever, or?
When I was just about 12 years old, we moved back from the farm, from Murray out to the farm, and lived out there the rest of my days.
And why is that? Did Grandpa's parents die or something, or why did?
No, he had the house, and they remodeled it and made a beautiful home out of it. And so we moved out to that house.
And then later, when he died, Mom inherited the house on 48 South, and we lived there. Our family lived there.
Yeah.
So it went back and forth, back and forth.
It was back and forth a lot.
Tell about who your principal was. Oh, and you lived in that place too, didn't you?
When we came back from Indiana, just after Lane was born.
Right.
And we lived there about 18 months.
We tore down the old barn.
271 East and 48 South.
Mm-hmm.
So tell about your school principal when you were living in Murray.
When I was a little girl going to school, I used to bite my fingernails, and it was a bad habit. And the principal came in one day and put stuff on my nails so I'd quit biting them. But it happened to be my father. He was the principal, and he embarrassed me to death. And then another thing, we were out on the playground jumping the rope, and this boy came and grabbed our rope and took it, and so of course we got mad at him, and I threw a rock, and it hit him in the back of the head, and it kind of bled. So I got taken to the principal's office, And I sat there and I had to wait and wait and wait for the principal to come in. Stuffed owl. I can still see that owl. But the principal finally came in, and it was my father. He was my father.
So what did he do to you for throwing the rock?
Well, he just gave me a little lecture and took me back to class. Wasn't so bad. But it was something having your father for your principal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think at my grandpa's farm out in Union, they grew pears and apples, had a lot of trees, and so in the fall we'd go out, just when I was a kid, and they'd make apple cider. And they had this old press, wooden press, metal, with this metal parts that was just ancient, and you'd put dump these apples down in, and it had a handle. I think they eventually put an electric motor on it, and it would cut up the apples into little shreds. And then when they would come out, it would go into a basket or something, and then they had these cylinders that were made of wood, and they had slats of wood that went up and down in a circle, and they'd put all these shreds of apples in it, and then there was a thing on top, a wooden top like a lid, but it had pieces, and then they'd put this wooden handle across it, and twist it, and it would ratchet down and go down and press on these apples, and then it would, as it got tighter, all the juice would flow out through the slats in the wood and run down into bottles. And so you'd have this pure apple cider that we would have. It was the best stuff ever. And we'd freeze it and have it all winter in our freezers. But that was wonderful. That's it.